Well, Sam Jethro here would like to say hello. Beautiful card from a beautiful set. This is session number 163, believe it or not, of You Guessed It, Card Room Live. And no, despite all of the nonsense in the chat, this is not a show. This is, however, a hangout for fellow vintage collectors, whether we have guests or not. Most of the time, we are wasting time looking at and talking about old, crusty cardboard, and through it all, we do try to make it time well wasted. And dare I say, we've done a good job of that over the past 4 years and counting. And I think I'm pretty excited about tonight. I think we'll do that a little bit tonight. So if you're here with us live, welcome to all of you. Welcome to my fellow YouTubers. Welcome to the commenters, to the folks from all over social media land. If you're new to Card Room Live, don't be afraid to say hello. You are among cardboard friends because this is the live stream where everybody knows your name. If you're new, it may take us a few times to figure it out, but we'll learn yours soon enough. If you're listening to this later, you might be doing one or more of the following things. You might be going to or coming home from work. Perhaps you're sorting cards, looking at eBay or auction sites. Perhaps you're rolling out those meatballs, walking the dog, sitting on the john, putting the kids to bed. Perhaps you're battling raccoons in the backyard. Maybe you're wondering if Eddie Wakus will come up tonight. I highly doubt it. But you never know. Wondering what other kind of Mike Foolery we'll get into tonight. Whatever you might be doing, I do hope you get something out of the next hour. If you want to get in touch or have ideas for future sessions, you can always email me at bowman53channel@gmail.com. You can find me on Instagram, bowman53_Alex, on X 1953 Bowman Color, and on Blue Sky Bowman53. And of course, all that information can be found in the description below. This session of Card Room Live is brought to you by Topps 1-cent baseball stand-ups. That's right, bubblegum picture cards that feature full color stand-up pictures, real life action poses, along with the exciting new card game. It features all the top major league stars, wow guys, baseball cards that actually stand up and have the Don Field of Dreams cards seal of approval. What could be better than that? So happy March to everybody. Happy Sunday night. Thank goodness it's Sunday night. It's time for baseball cards. It's time for baseball card chatter. We just finished with Sammy Thunder and Four Corners. Four Collectors, not Four Corners. Four Collectors is around the corner. That's what I was trying to say. And here we are with Card Room Live. Let's see who's in the bar. Mr. Craig's Cards is here. Jacob Dahl is here. Adam's Card Closet. The Dog Ate My Card. Eddie's Cardboard Chaos. Mike Good is here. Watching and riding the exercise bike. What could be more energetic than a Card Room Live session when you're on your exercise bike? Ranger Studios with the wrench is here. Mike, the sports history collector, is here for the show that's not a show. Sven Patrick is here. And yes, Sven, I still owe you an email and a prize package, and I'm going to actually try to get that out this week so I don't have to keep saying that. Orlando, a collector's dream, is here. Sports Card Reverie is here with a great name for our channel. Jayhawker Vintage Cards, Peacemaker Cards, Blue Collar Cards, Melissa the Sports Guru, Wrench Holder Stuke, brand new Hall of Famer. Congratulations to you, good sir. Confluence Sports Cards is here. Give me a double and put the game on. Mr. Wilhelm is here. Peter B. Yank Me Card Steve. The Everyday Card Collector Jason is here, the newest member of the Four Collectors group. Killabrew 3 Collector is here. Warren D and the CLE. Are we going to talk about 87 Topps baseball? I guess we could. I don't know what our panel will think about that. Vintage Hot Stove 70 is here. I like the handle. White Sox Fan Card Collector is here. Mr. Think Blue 77. Jesse is here. Phillies Baseball Cards. Phil Necro is here, and I'm seeing a lot of folks in here. And here's Mr. John Mangini. Nick, the Iowa Collector, Spartan Card Collector, Mark's Dodgers Cards, and I feel like there's a shield. I see a wrench. I see a wrench on live stream, and we can see the wrench right here. Right there's the wrench. So the wrench lives on. I don't like the shield. All right, so everybody's here. We're set for a fun night of cards and chatter. I've got 3 guests waiting to come in. It only took me 7 minutes to get through all of that. The rest of the time is going to be spent talking about a beautiful, interesting set. Um, these guys have way more cards from this set than I do. I have a few cards from this set. I'm only going to show one. Actually, now I'm going to show two. I was planning only to show one. I'm going to show this one just because I recently got it. It's the 1952 Topps Johnny Mize. This only came in maybe a week or so ago. I've always thought this card is just kind of gorgeous and a lot of fun, and it just screams 1950s baseball to me. And it's a card that I've had on my list for quite a long time, and finally glad to say it's a part of my collection and share it with you guys. But we're not just going to talk about the Johnny Mize card. We're going to talk about this entire set. And I've got three collectors here that have been working on this set for quite some time, and they know way more about this set than I do, and they probably know a lot more about this set than most of us, because I feel like when you build a set, you learn about that set in a way that nobody else possibly could unless they built that set. And what I want to do is I want to talk to these guys about their experience building this set. And also, obviously, we want to look at some cards and get some opinions from them. So let's bring these guys in. The first guest I'm going to bring in is not a stranger to Card Room Live. He's been on Card Room Live many times before, and we're glad to have him back. It's Mr. Rocket Rick, J18. Rick, how are you tonight?
I'm doing fine, Alex. How are you?
I'm good. I'm glad to have you back, Rick.
I just thought I'd get this out of the way.
It's going to happen. I know it's going to
right
happen.
at the beginning.
Wow, beautiful. It's all downhill from here. Fantastic. The next two guests we have are two fantastic collectors that I've had the pleasure to get to know on Instagram. And Instagram's interesting because you don't necessarily chat a lot or see faces of people, but what you do get to see is people's collections that they're sharing on Instagram. And these two guys have fantastic 52 Topps collections. The first one is Chadwick from RT Collections 28. Chadwick, how are you tonight?
Doing well. How are you guys?
Doing good. Thanks for being here.
Yes, appreciate you having me.
Absolutely. And the other guest that we have is another collector of this set, whose name on Instagram is SEKelly423. And it's Sean. Sean, how are you tonight?
I'm good, Alex. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. And really quickly, I just wanted to mention, right before we started, I was reminded by Sean that I guess it might have been like a couple years ago. Here's the only other card I'm going to show tonight, and the rest of the 52 Topps is going to be up to these gentlemen. But the other card I want to show is lucky number 1, Andy Pafko. And as it turns out, Sean reminded me that I actually got this from Sean on eBay, which it's like, oh gosh, I have to go pull this card. Once again, thanks for that, Sean. I'm pretty sure I gave you a positive feedback on Instagram.
I think so, yes. I'm glad to know it's in a good home.
Yeah, I love that card. And yeah, it's not going anywhere. So yes, and so it seems like a lot of these guys already know your Instagram accounts, Chadwick and Sean, so that's fantastic. So I've got a lot of questions for these guys, and don't worry, everybody, we're definitely going to look at some cards. But the first question I have for all three of you, and Rick, why don't we start with you, is at what point did you decide to go after this set, and what is it about this set that made you decide to go after it? What's the story behind how it started for you?
Well, for me, it was pretty simple. I think I finished all the other top sets. It was the last one left.
That's brilliant. I love that.
I mean, it was either go after it or not. You know?
Right.
Which tells us a bigger story, Rick, which is that you're a beast of a collector. That's great. Sean, how about you?
I did a bit of a different approach. When I got into vintage, I dabbled in all kinds of different stuff just to figure out what I liked. So I had some Gaudi, some Diamond Stars, some T206, a little bit of everything. But 1952 just kind of grabbed me in a different way. They rewrote the rules on what a baseball card is supposed to be. And I looked at it kind of, if I was a kid in 1952, I've seen my dad's cards, I've seen my grandpa's cards. They're small, they're square. Then I get these great, big, beautiful square color everywhere. It just blew up the card world, and it called me.
Right, right. No, I love that because you're absolutely right. I mean, that's the thing about that set, right? It really changed everything, and you can kind of look at it as like before 52 tops and after 52 tops in a lot of ways. Um, Chadwick, how about you? I don't know if you can hear us.
Yeah, can you see me?
Not yet.
Here, let me. Does that work? Sorry,
There you go. Yeah, we can see you fine.
technical issues. um, really, for me, I was always a collector of all different types of cards when I was a kid. I'm one of four brothers, so we had football, basketball, baseball, Pokemon cards. We were in 99, 2000, the heat of Pokemon and all that stuff. But I really I love baseball. Baseball has always been my love, and going up to Rockies games my entire life, I just grew just a huge feeling of just everything that I've ever wanted is right here. And having baseball cards is a way that I can have that tangible item that I can look back and look at that history through that card. And how it really started with me was when I finally had some money after college and had a decent job. I looked at a lot of these different players back in the day: Yogi Berra, Mickey Mantle, Willie Mays, and I was like, it really drew me to it. And what was really naive of me at the time was I had no clue that the Mickey Mantle was in that set. I was just like, oh, this set is so cool. And like I was pulled right into it. And the Yogi Berra was my first 1952 Topps card that I was able to get. And
Nice.
from there, I had some friends on here tell me about PSA set registries, how they have different ones for different sets and different players. So I kind of looked around and looked at the 52 tops, what they had, and they had a Hall of Famer checklist. And I'm like, I already have one. Let's try it out. Let's see how many we can get. And I was able to get all the Hall of Famers, and then I was like, okay, let's try some rookies. Got a bunch of those. Hey, let's try some of the key ones like your Andy Pafko or Tony. I think it was Bartolome. Yeah, he.
Here we
That's an
go.
interesting card too. That's an interesting card that we're gonna have to talk about later on too. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of what really got me into it, and just it's kind of steamrolled from here. And I'm super passionate about it, and I love when people talk to me about it, and people come to me and because I feel like I'm an open door. I'm always engaging with everybody. I'm trying to keep that positivity with all the stuff going on in our world. This
Yeah,
is a safe and positive place for people to really get out of the normal norm and just enjoy what they really enjoy. So yeah.
absolutely. And I appreciate that because I think all of us could use it. Um, I think before I ask you guys another question, um, I think we need to show some cards because if we don't show some cards, there might be some dissent in the chat. So, Rick, let's go to you. Show me some of your favorite action poses from the set. I'm
Well,
excited.
I look through the cards that I have, and I'm still, a bit shy. I've got about maybe a fourth to 30% of the high number cards now, and I have, the first 310 cards. So um, I've still got some big ones to get. So
Right.
that's where I am. But there's not a lot of really what you would consider action cards. I don't think most of them uh, are posed. They're
Sure.
poses. So that here's one that I like a lot. Uh,
Yes.
Gus Sernial apparently thought that he had a chance to hit 60 home runs, but he came up a few homers short. A couple bricks shy of a load, I guess you'd say.
Absolutely.
Um, but that's one that I like. And there's a lot of portraits and a lot of just I don't really find a lot of even what you would consider, any sort of action going on. But I'll do the best I can here with the limitations that I have in my collection. Here's a nice Duke Snyder.
Yes, I love that card.
Very
That's
nice.
a good one. And here's a Don Mueller,
Yeah,
which is a nice card. And you showed a pretty nice one earlier, so I won't show that again. But the Johnny Mize card is really a beautiful card.
absolutely.
This is a card that I think is the closest to a real, sort of action picture. I mean, it actually looks like he's actually going to throw the ball.
Right.
But the Sal Ivers card is really a nice looking card.
For sure. Sean, how about you?
Sure. I'll start with Great Minds Think Alike. We've got the Gus Zernial,
Yes.
and we got the Sal Ivers card.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
A couple others that stand out to me. Daphne
Yeah.
Arhos. Jackie Jensen.
Mm-hmm.
Walt Dropo. This is a card, if you're a 52 collector, you appreciate this one, Billy Lowe's.
Mhm.
Yes.
Great rookie card.
Yeah, tough to find a nice copy of that one. So
Is it about the color or the registration or the centering?
the centering's a nightmare because it's usually cut with a diamond cut, so there's a tilt to it.
Mm-hmm.
And with a lot of cards in the 52 set, you're prone to get snow. So finding it with a clean red background was a challenge.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Okay, Chadwick.
All right. Well, I'm going to take two of them out because I got one here the same. And then the Jack Jensen, I like that one too. Just that swing with
Yeah.
the stadium in the background. I really like the ones where, I mean, I like the portrait ones where it's just like a solid color, but I really like the change with like the stadium or even just like some floral background, like the Marlon Stewart right here. I like that one where
Mhm.
looks like he threw the pitch.
Right.
That one's super cool card. And I'm also a little biased when it comes to cards that are pitcher cards because I was a pitcher in high school and I played a little bit in college. So I really love the pitcher cards, and this is another one I really like. It's Ed Blake, super cool card, just clean.
I love the blue on that card.
Me too. It just really pops.
Nice.
And then the last one I'll show you guys. Again, it's a cool stadium background. You got the Dale Mitchell here.
Yes. Yeah, that's
So,
epic.
yeah. Super cool ones, yeah.
I had a feeling this was going to happen. You guys are inspiring people to build the set all over again. I have a kind of a general question, and I'll just leave it up to whichever the three you guys want to answer it. You can kind of jump in as you see fit. How did you go about deciding how to collect this set? I mean, it's one thing to say I want to collect 52 tops. It's a whole other thing to decide, well, I'll build it raw or I'll build it graded, or what kind of condition am I looking for? Maybe it doesn't matter, maybe it does. So what were your personal stipulations? It's different for everybody, right? But what were your personal decisions that you made about how you wanted to go about building the set? Anybody that wants to jump in.
I'll go first.
Sure.
This is actually my second time building the set. I built it once previously and traded it away.
Okay.
I decided I missed it. One of the benefits of building it once before is I kind of knew where the landmines were. So I decided when I came back, I wanted to get nice mid-grade cards with high eye appeal. So dead centered if I can find them. No snow, no creasing, just cards that kind of pop. So I started with kind of the ones that I knew were difficult, the ones that are notoriously difficult to find centered, and then I just kind of took what was available and just slowly started accumulating and filling in the checklist as more and more cards came available that filled the holes that I needed.
All right.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with it was kind of started again with a checklist, the Hall of Fame checklist, and then kind of grew from there to build the whole set. And when I first started collecting it, it was much more easier on the wallet to be able to get a lot of these mid higher grades for a decent price, which unfortunately now that's not possible. So it's really just about what kind of budget going into it, and just realizing that you're going to probably drop some here and there, but the thing is it's the process. And how I go about it is I let it happen organically. Just if I find one that's I haven't got on my checklist, and it's great eye appeal, like what Sean said, great value, that I feel like it's going to be what I'm looking at for my budget, then I'll go for it. It doesn't matter if it's the one I'm actually looking for, but if it's one that's I need, it's available at that time, I'm going for it.
Rick, how about you? I mean, like you said earlier, this is something
I'm a bargain hunter.
Yeah.
So I don't have a big budget, but some of these cards, I mean, they're just big budget cards. I mean, they're budget breakers, in any condition.
Right.
But a lot of my cards are raw, and I probably have about I don't know, 40 or so graded cards, something like that, maybe. And I started with the low numbers because they're obviously a lot more affordable. And I decided I was going to try to get one high number card a month, and I've been doing that for about 18 months. So I have about 25 high numbers, something like that, which I just got, basically more or less one at a time, although I did get 4 or 5 at the National last year. So that put me ahead of the one a month club. And that's kind of how I did it.
Right.
Or am doing it, I should say. I'm still in the process.
Right. Yeah, I think, when I built my 53 Bowman set, I really approached it with the idea of, like above average grade and graded cards, and I was really focused on centering. Now I think if I were to build that set, just because of the way pricing has gone, I would probably just build it raw, just to build it, just to get the cards, because I think, at least for me, I don't know that I'd be able to do it. But that's why there's a million different ways to do it, right? Let's show some more cards. Sean, we're going to jump to you. Show a couple of cards and relay a short bit of trivia or a story or something about that card behind the card, whether it's about the player or some other interesting little bit. So pressure on you to entertain us.
Sure. I'll start with this guy. He was shot by a fan, if you can believe that.
That's 2 already. Wow.
All right, that's low-hanging fruit. Here's Tommy Holmes. To my knowledge, the first and only card that was ever produced where the player's title was ex-manager.
Oh.
So he was fired. He was picked for the print run, and then he was fired just before the cards were printed. So rather than remove him from the printing, they just changed his title to ex-manager.
That's amazing.
That's fantastic. I don't think that's been done since. Next one here, Ned Garver, one of 2 players in the 20th century to win 20 games on a team that lost more than 100.
Wow.
So played for some truly awful teams with the Browns and I think the Tigers as well. But he managed to win 20 games on a 100-game loser, which is just astonishing.
Way to go, Ned. Yeah.
Yep. Joe Knoxville, youngest player in baseball history. He was 15 when he made his debut during the war.
That's right.
The old left-hander.
Yeah. Johnny Berardino, the only man to have won a World Series and have a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. He was a doctor on, I think, General Hospital. It was his second act after he finished his baseball career. One more I'll
Yeah,
do.
sure.
Fred Hutchison died tragically young of cancer, but the world's foremost cancer research center out on the West Coast is named after Fred Hutchison.
Oh, nice. Nice. That's a great start. Thank you, Sean. Rick, how about you? Any cards with some stories behind them?
Well, here's as far as I know, I think this is the only player who's named after a character in a Greek tragedy.
Hmm.
Orestes Minoso.
Right.
Uh, I got my John Berardino card too because he was on the Pirates in addition to having been on the Cleveland Indians. John Berardino played Dr. Steve Hardy on General Hospital, which I thought was pretty cool. And I remember it as a kid because I watched the show sometimes. And his office door was number 714, which is a big number, of course, if you're a baseball card fan. And I thought that was kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Somebody mentioned Tony Barterome. I mean, both of these guys played for the Pirates in the early 50s. Neither one of them was very good, but Tony Barterome became the Pirate trainer for a while, which was kind of cool. And then this is Cloyd Boyer, who's the third brother of the baseball playing brothers, Ken Boyer, Clete Boyer, and Cloyd Boyer. And of course, there's this perhaps slightly more famous DiMaggio brothers, but Vince didn't make it into the 52 set. Well, neither did Joe. So, it's I thought it was kind of cool that Floyd Boyer was in that set. And of course, I have one more card I'd like to show, which is the Frank Crosetti, who I believe is still the record holder for the most number of World Series rings collected as a player and as a coach, because he was on the Yankees for like 50 years or something like that. During the was the third base coach for many years. Collected a lot of rings.
Yes, he did.
Even more than Yogi. There, Stuke's got it. 17.
Yeah. Stuke with the trivia.
There it is, yeah.
As always. Yeah. Oh, sorry, Chadwick, go for it.
Let's see. I think I have a couple here. I have a Ted Kluzinski. I love this card. It's a lower numbered card, but it's again a cool action shot. But what's really cool about this card, well, I guess it's just funny to me. But he was known to have the biggest biceps in baseball, so he'd always cut his sleeves because he couldn't fit into them. So everyone would always he'd always be walking around in the dugout with them all cut up. It was pretty funny. I loved reading the stories behind it and just the stories that the players told about him, and pretty cool stuff. This one here, Virgil Trucks, really cool story about him. He is known right now still to have thrown the hardest pitch ever in baseball. I know back then, technology wasn't as precise as it is today,
Sure.
but they had, I guess, Army radar gun that they used, and he was clocked throwing over 105 miles per hour. Even Stan Musial said that he has never seen anybody throw harder his entire life than Virgil Trucks. So I thought that was super cool. Considering, I mean, he's a normal size guy. I mean, he's 5'11", 200 pounds. I mean, he was just built to throw a baseball. This one, he doesn't. He's getting more respect now as far as for a Hall of Famer, but I feel personally that he didn't get as much credit as he probably should because he was in the shadow of Hank Aaron, and that's Ed Matthews.
Right. Oh my gosh, look at that card.
It's one that I've always really wanted. It's one that when I finally finished the Hall of Fame checklist, I wanted to get the Andy Pafko and the Ed Matthews, so I at least have number 1 and number 407 to work from there. But
Right. Right.
I was able to get a really decent price at I thought at the time, but obviously I'm looking at what things are comping, and I'm obviously paying more because I'm not looking at the money. I'm looking at what I love, what I want, and
Right.
it's something that. And what's interesting to know too about the Ed Matthews card is this is his only rookie card. He
Right.
does not have a rookie card in any other series or brand, only the 1952 tops.
Right.
So
Right.
that's what also makes it super uh, valuable and demanding. And it's just, plus it's the last card of the set. So you're looking at any of the cards from the first to last or from series to series, they're going to be pretty beat up because back in the day, those kids were wrapping rubber bands around them.
Sure.
Those cards on the ends would always get beat to crap. So it's very hard to find those cards in decent condition. But nonetheless, it's great to have an example of it. So I'm very blessed to have that one.
Yeah.
So,
Anytime anybody shows that card, it's like a unicorn. So
mhm.
beautiful.
Okay.
Guys, I'm going to skip ahead to. I mean, we've already blown through a half an hour. Show some of your favorite portraits. You guys mentioned the portraits. I asked for action, but you're right. All the action stuff is a lot of it's posed. So let's take a look at some of the portraits. And Rick, we'll go back to you. Some of your favorite portraits from the set that you have so far. Yeah, Rick, do you have?
Oh, okay. I'm
Yeah,
sorry. I was zoned out there for a second. Yes, I have a couple.
Cool.
I'm just going to show my two favorite ones. I think this is a beautiful card. I love the yellow background, and I think that's just great player. There's nothing bad you can say about that one. So
Yeah, beautiful
Card.
And this is one that I was very anxious to get. I picked up at the National last year, and I just have kind of become more of a fan of Gil McDougall's, and I hated to have to pay the price to get it, but it's I thought a fairly good deal, but it still was more than I'd typically pay for a baseball card for sure.
Sure. Rick, can you share a little bit about your fandom for Gil? Like, what is it about McDougall that sticks with you?
Well, I mean, he was involved in one of the more tragic plays, I guess, that you would say he had a line drive and hit Herb Score in the face, and that was the first time I ever heard of Gil McDougall.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that must have had a terrible impact. I mean, obviously, it had terrible impact on Herb Score, but
Sure.
I thought it probably had a terrible impact on Gil McDougall.
Right.
I don't know, that story just kind of really got to me in thinking about baseball and the people who play it.
Right.
So, anyway, that's probably the and sadly, I think it definitely adversely affected Herb Score's performance after that. He just never was the pitcher that he had been.
Mm.
And I'm not too sure that it didn't affect Gil McDougall's performance after that happened.
Right.
He played a few more years, but again, he didn't really have the career that perhaps he could have had.
Yeah, it's the more human side of it, for sure. Not just the stats. Sean, how about you?
Sure. Start with this. I'm not maybe quite a portrait, but I can't not show that. Smokey
Yeah.
Burgess. Just one of the best looking cards in the set, period, full stop.
Mhm.
Got Hall of Famer Hoyt Wilhelm.
All right.
Oren Spawn.
Very nice.
Nice yellow Roy Campanella. Pee Wee Reese.
Cool.
It's a beauty.
This one's got a bit of scribbling on it, but Bob Feller.
Pretty well placed.
I thought so. It's cheaper to buy a Bob Feller card signed than unsigned.
That's crazy.
Yogi Berra.
Wow.
Very nice.
And this one, I don't think I'll get much argument. This is probably the best portrait in the set.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Dan agrees with you. Yeah, I do too. It's beautiful. Great. And Chadwick.
Let's see, ones that we haven't looked at yet. I'm gonna look. I got some auxiliary back here. Let's see. I would probably have to go with one of Dick Williams. Here is one of them.
Nice.
It's not only he's a Hall of Famer, but it's his rookie card as well.
Oh, cool.
I like that portrait shot. I also enjoy the Smokey Burgess too. It's just such a great portrait. Really like that one. And Hank Bauer. I really like the Hank Bauer one too.
Sweet.
Nice.
Yeah. And this, I'll throw this one to all three of you and whoever wants to jump in. We kind of talk a little bit about this here and there, but let's sort of centralize it. What are some quirks from this set? Whether it's like a weird, we've already looked at the Gus Zernial, but some weird cards, some errors, misprints, mistakes, problems. Some of them are very famous, but there might be some that you guys know about that somebody who doesn't collect this set is not aware of.
Go ahead, Chad.
I was just saying the one that sticks out to me really quickly is the Frank House card. He played for the Detroit Lions. Yep, there it is right there. And the version that Sean has right there is the rarer one. It's the yellow tiger. That one's the rarer one. It's typically more of an orangish color, and that's what most of them are printed. But the ever so rare yellow tiger is what really is the valuable one. So great example, by the way.
Thank you.
Awesome.
I'll jump in with a couple others. The third series, most of them were printed with cream-colored backs. There's a small subset of them, very rare, were printed with gray backs, which was the stock they used for the first two series and the rest of the set as well. So you can get the same card with a very different card stock. And,
Okay, yeah.
you can see the color, especially the gray backs are just insanely tough to find. There's 60 of them. I've got one. I'm quite happy to stop at one.
Yeah, so I guess that's another question. Are you guys going after those, oddities, or is it more just I've got a card for the number, I'm good?
I'm going after everything I can get.
Okay.
So if there's an oddity that's known and people seek it out, I'm looking for it too. So I've got another one you guys will probably know, Frank Campus. It's called the Black Star on the back. You can see on the back there's two stars. There's the red one and there's the black one. Black one was printed by mistake. It was supposed to be two red stars. So that's another one that people really hunt down. It's hard to find. And if I can jump in with a couple more.
Please.
Joe Page and Johnny Sane. They were printed beside each other, cards 48 and cards 49. On some of them, the biographies were switched. So the biography for Joe Page was on the Sane card. The biography for Johnny Sane was on the Joe Page card. So again, just a I think just the coolest error because they actually caught it, corrected it, and it only ran for a very short portion of the run.
Awesome.
Sorry, I've got one more.
Oh yeah, please go for it.
Yeah, this isn't a conventional error per se, but I got a bit of printer scrap where the card has 3 different backs on it.
Yes, it
None
does.
of them being the player on the front.
That's
Wow.
amazing. How did you come across? Was it just a find, or like?
Yeah, I spend a lot of time on eBay.
Okay.
Kind of combing through whatever interesting pops up, and it's kind of, oh, hey, that's kind of neat. I've never seen that, and
Right.
saw it at auction, and I was the lucky bidder.
Awesome. Rick, let's go back to you. A few cards that you think are underrated. Some of your more personal favorite ones, perhaps not most popular.
Yeah, there's I struggled with this to even come up really with anything that I thought was underrated. I mean, this is a set that's gotten a lot of examination.
Sure.
I kind of settled on a couple of them. I don't. But I'll show these 3 kind of together because I think they really do kind of go together. And let's see if I can do this without mutilating them. But Allie Reynolds, Eddie Lopat, and Joe Page.
Yeah.
These guys are, especially Reynolds and Lopat. I struggle to find why they're not in the Hall of Fame. I mean,
Yeah.
these are the principal pitchers, along with Vic Raschi, that won 5 consecutive World Series, something no other team has done.
Right.
And these are the guys that did the lion's share of the pitching, during that time period. So I don't know what the criteria is for being in the Hall of Fame, but they certainly, in my view, deserve it. And here's another guy that I think really deserves perhaps more credit than he's gotten. Although he's getting a little bit more recently, I think, recognition for being one of the for a period of time, one of the all-time greats. I mean, sensational first half of his career. So it's I think he was is underrated, and therefore his cards are underrated, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. As a Philly fan, I definitely agree with that. I promised I wasn't going to show any more cards, but since you just held that card up, I also recently just got the Lopat. I love this card. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And there's some great stories. If you read any of Ted Williams' books, he hated Eddie Lopat because Eddie Lopat couldn't break glass, from 60 feet 6 inches, and he'd strike Ted Williams out, and he said, "How'd you like that one, Ted? That's my fast one."
Awesome.
And Williams apparently also always referred to Eddie Lopat as that effing Lopat.
Tells you a lot.
That tells you a lot.
Sean, how about you?
Sure. Kind of sneaky one. If you care about centering, this card is almost impossible to find like this. Gus Bell's kind of an ordinary player. His claim to fame is the first of 3 generations of baseball players. Didn't have much of a career, but this card is gorgeous.
Yeah.
And again, it's one of those ones, if you don't collect the set or don't care about centering, you pay no attention to it. But it's one of those cards that go search on eBay. It's impossible to find like that.
How long did it take you, like if you had to try to guess, to find that?
3 years of searching.
Nice.
I would say. Another guy who's, as a player, he's starting to get more recognition, but I still think there's a lot more room to grow for Larry Doby.
For sure.
And it's a gorgeous card.
Yeah, I love that card. Yeah.
You showed it earlier, but the Andy Pafko, finding it again, they all got wrapped in rubber bands and beaten up, and just finding a nice clean copy. It's again, this is one I searched for years to find this one. So it's kind of, I think it's under the radar.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And just kind of as a general one,
Yeah.
I think signed. Most of these guys, these cards weren't signed until the 1980s, 1990s. So finding nice signed 52 tops, there's not many out there from even the best players. I think Bob Feller is the only one who signed a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But you get a lot of guys,
Hey,
there's 20, 30 of them that are signed, and that's all that there is. And I guess one more, kind of an odd one. Looks like an ordinary card. On the back, you'll see it's part of the salesman's sample panel.
Yeah.
Those things are, again, almost impossible to find.
Mhm.
So I think for what they are and what they represent, I think they're exceptional value as well.
Mm-hmm. Fantastic. This makes me feel right at home, guys. Like, it's been a long time since I built the Bowman color set, but like, yeah, you get into all this minutia. It's like its own little world outside of, and if you're not in that world, you're like, you don't know about it, but it's great. Chadwick, how about you?
Mine are going to be a little bit different, but I think ones that are undervalued, but now they're starting to really get the appreciation. It's the black backs of the lower first series of the 1952 tops. And what I mean by that is when they first produced the 1952 tops, the year before, they had that small 51 set. It wasn't a full set. It was just the first set that they brought out, and they had taffy in there. Well, the taffy was making kids extremely sick. So, and they weren't selling. So they were extremely cautious about printing a bunch of the first series, excuse me. So they did it in the black backs, which is, I'll give you kind of an example. So here's the Guzzler now, and then here's the black back. And then, so this is what they normally look like with the red. But the first time they ever printed them, it was in these black backs like these. And after they sold that print, it sold like crazy. So they started making another batch of it, but they used the red backs. So it's really, if you look at the print runs, it actually is lower, and people are starting to notice that. So there's a lot of value in that that people are seeing too.
Mm. Yeah. Well, guys, we got about 10 minutes left. So I guess I'll ask you guys this question, and then we'll do one more round of cards. What is it, and I'll just, I'll leave this up to whoever wants to jump in first. What is it about building a vintage set that you think people who don't build sets are missing out on? This can be controversial, not controversial, but like, I think it's gotten harder to build vintage sets, price wise, and just like, especially a set like this where you have a lot of high numbers, and a lot of times people will just shoot down the idea from the outset because, the most common thing to say is, well, I don't want to be forced to buy a card of a player that I'm not interested in just to build the set. What would you say? Like, what's somebody missing out on if they've never built a set before?
Well, I'll start.
Go ahead.
I think you just miss out on the stories of the players who don't happen to be Willie Mays or Mickey Mantle or Bob Feller. There are many, many, many more journeyman players that have interesting stories, and some of them, had had a moment in the sun. You know, I always like the I don't know whether if irony is the right word, but the fact that you know, Vic Wertz absolutely crushes a ball that Willie Mays catches, and Dusty Rhodes hits a pop fly that just clears the seat at the end of the game to win the first game of the World Series in 1954. And any other ballpark that could have been playing in, it would have been the opposite. Vic Wertz would have been the hero, and Dusty Rhodes just hit another pop fly. So it's just you know, I showed the Joe Page card a little earlier. I'll just show you real quick the Chuck Dressen card. You know, Dressen was asked, you know, why he thought that, you know, the Yankees had such a lock on beating the Dodgers in the World Series, and he said 2 words: Joe Page. That was his explanation. And so, you know, those guys you don't hear about so much, and if you don't build sets, you miss out on some pretty cool stuff. You know, there's another guy. I got his card out, but I'm not going to try to dig through these to find it now. But George Crowe. He's in the 52 set. And he stuck around quite a long time. And he ends up in the Cardinals during the early 60s. And a guy who had more to do with Bob Gibson's arrival as a major league pitcher. I mean, he was already in the major leagues, obviously, but you know, he helped him get over the hump and you know, become the superstar that he did become. And I never knew that. I never really heard of George Crowe before I read that book. So I think that's to me that's the reason to collect sets, is that they're not. I mean, first of all, I mean, they're all major league ball players, so how bad can they be? You know?
Right.
they're already light years better than I ever was. So,
Sure.
You know, let's not denigrate them too badly.
Yeah, Sean, Chadwick, anything you guys want to add?
I guess I'll jump in. I echo everything Rick says. Learning about these so-called obscure or common players, that they have real stories, and it's fascinating stuff to actually learn. The other part of the experience that I really enjoy is kind of, you ride the roller coaster of emotions as you build the set. So you get the initial excitement, I'm going to do this. You start buying everything you can find.
Yeah.
You kind of hit that first wall saying, okay, I got to cool off. You get to the middle, grind it out phase, and it's kind of, what am I doing? How am I going to ever see this done? Then you kind of keep chipping away, and you start to see the light at the end of the tunnel, and then you're checking the names off, and you're watching your list dwindle, and the eventual excitement of crossing that finish line, it's a major accomplishment, and it's exciting.
Right. Yeah. Which you can't really. I mean, I guess you can replicate that in some ways if you kind of create your own restrictions. I'm going to a player run or something like that. But I think there's something about building a set that is unique. Chadwick, anything else you want to throw in there?
I just love, like, again, just like what everyone's saying too, is just the history and just the things that you would never know about these players unless you know, take a dive and, you know, get these cards. And I like to think of it as, and I'm sure a lot of us can relate. You have fantasy football. You know, most of these players, if they're not on your team, you really don't care. But if they're on your fantasy team, you start getting an interest in them. You start learning about them a little bit more. What are their habits? You know, what do they do? I kind of feel like that when it comes to those cards. Is, you know, I find what I like, and I do so much. I love to just research about them. You know, I from books to internet to the backs of the cards to what is shared on here that I find through great people like here. There's just so much rich history, and every single, maybe not every single one of them, but I'd say pretty close to 99% of these guys were in some sort of military action too.
Right,
They were
right.
in some sort of branch, and um, granted, a lot of them were playing baseball while they were in the military. The fact that it was part of that time. You do what you love going up, but then you have to stop what you're doing, fight for the country, and come back, and hopefully you can still continue on. And a lot of guys weren't able to continue on, but that's what makes those stories so great, is because a lot of these guys end up becoming great, like actors or doctors, or just so amazing. And it's like, even today, I was looking at a player and I had no idea that I'm trying to remember the name because I don't have the card yet. But he has his hands up like this. He has seven fingers up.
Larry.
And yes. So, and I've always kind of like, it's his kids, how many kids he had, and
Huh.
he had a lot of kids. And it was a part of it where he's like, hey, that's what it is. You would think it would be like baseball related, like Gus Darnell with his bat with the six balls.
Right.
No, this was all his kids that he had. Just little quirk, little stories like that. I thought that was pretty cool. So
All right, guys. Technically, we're almost out of time, but that's okay because there's a question that I selfishly asked these guys, and you might say it's the reason I pulled this together because I want to get inspired. My question is, and Rick, we'll start with you. Show me some of your favorite Yankees, Giants, and Dodger cards because I'm a New York PC 50s guy, and I'm waiting to be inspired. That's a great one. I have that one. Love it.
Beautiful card. Um,
Oh,
guess,
wow.
I guess we can't not show Willie Mays, maybe.
That's beautiful. Yeah.
So that's Willie Mays. And here's another Hall of Famer that doesn't get a lot of attention.
hmm
I think I'll stop there.
All right. All right. Chadwick?
I'm gonna make mine easy because I already have it in a case. I have a Giants, Yankees, and Dodger in the same frame.
Look at that. There he is.
Sorry for the glare, folks.
Yeah.
Incredible.
That's one of, obviously, my prized possession. And what also kind of kept me going on my journey too is the fact that at the end of the day, this is going to be all passed down to my son. I have one son, getting him slowly into baseball, and he's really enjoying cards. And it's a legacy that I want to leave for him. And that Chadwick, he was a great guy. He did this, and that. But have you seen his baseball card collection? So that's what also really drives me to keep going too, is the fact that I know that it's going to be passed down to my son. And
Right.
that's it. It really creates that big emotional tie to really continue on and to really enjoy it. And it's sure been fun.
Well, you make sure you tell your son that a bunch of old guys think he's really lucky. Yeah. Sean, how about you?
Yeah, I don't have the big Yankee. I kept 3 cards for the end here. I got not a New Yorker, but worth the
Yeah.
screen time.
Wow.
Very nice.
And my absolute favorite card in the set, Mickey included.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great. Fantastic. Well, guys, we're a little over time, but it was worth it. So incredible to get to talk about this set and to show all these cards and get to hear about your guys' experience building this set. It's iconic for a reason, and it's always just fun to hear about people's experiences. Anybody that's in the chat, if you have a set that you think we should feature, whether you're building it or you know somebody that is, send me an email, bowman53channel@gmail.com, or text me or reach out to me because I'd love to do some more set discussions in the future. But for tonight, we're all wrapped up. So until next Sunday night, thanks for joining in, everybody. If you enjoyed this live stream about nothing, give it a thumbs up. If you did not enjoy it, I'm not sure why you're still here.
Yeah.
But Rick, Sean, and Chadwick, thank you guys for being here tonight and for sharing your cards and your stories with us.
Thank
you
you
for
so
having
much
me.
for having us.
I appreciate it.
Absolutely. All right, guys, go jump on to 4 Collectors, and we'll see you next Sunday night. Take care, everybody.
Thanks, guys.